I'd like everybody here to think about something that they're close to or find themselves having a hard time leaving alone, whether it be betting, smoking, spending money, or even eating a whole bag of Cool Ranch Doritos. Most of the time, when people think of addictions, they think of drug use or substance abuse. Yes, those are the more serious forms of addiction because they're the most life-altering. However, I'd like to examine some of the smaller forms that people deal with on a daily basis, whether it be caffeine use, checking social media, or even only listening to certain music when you work out. Well, it all starts with the brain. Today, I'll be discussing how the neurotransmitter in our brain triggers us to become addicted to certain things, the positive and negative effects of addiction, as well as some strategies to overcome it. Because whether you like it or not, we're all addicted to something. Dopamine. It's a funny sounding word, isn't it? But it's a very serious substance that plays a crucial role in addiction. Our brain releases the neurotransmitter dopamine, and dopamine is responsible for daily behaviors such as how we move, what we eat, how we learn, and even what we become addicted to. This is what's sent to our brain whenever people expect or receive a reward. Similar to the little old ladies in the bingo parlor when they yell bingo after winning, that same neurological pathway is taken whenever we eat something delicious or participate in a fun activity. Moreover, when it's released, we feel good. So whenever it's not released and that addiction is taken away, that's when we want more. Now, I'm going to be discussing one of those really interesting points a lot of people are fascinated with, the negative and positive effects of addiction. First, the negative effects. Addictions may cause some people to behave unethical, illegal, antisocial, or self-destructive, causing them to lie, steal, cry, beg, or do whatever it is in their power to get whatever it is that they're addicted to. And this is when addictions become unhealthy. It also creates distraction and a lot less productivity. Distraction from school, work, family, social life, and any other responsibilities. An example of this is cell phone addiction. Studies show that a vibrating or ringing cell phone is the number 3 most addictive sound in the world. So linking this to dopamine, our dopamine levels aren't the highest when we're in the act of our addiction, but actually right before the act of our addiction. So if you're addicted to eating sandwiches, your dopamine level isn't the highest when you're consuming the sandwich, it's actually the highest right before you consume it. Now, I'm going to be speaking about some of the positive effects of addiction. According to the U.S. Library of Medicine, the human brain is wired in a way where when we participate in a certain activity and we get excitement out of it, we want more, causing us to become addicted. The frontal lobe is equipped with the capacity to use past experiences to guide us in the future whenever we have to make another decision. This is where stories are formed. Who doesn't like a good story, right? We actually get hooked on continuing to watch something that we know isn't going to have the best outcome. An example of this is if we see somebody backing up a car and aiming right for a pole. We'll continue to watch even though we know that the outcome may not be the best because it makes for a good story. Another positive is for those people who hope people become addicted. What I mean by this is, for example, music artists, right before they release their music, beats, or anything else, they're doing so with the hope that the audience that they're reaching out to becomes addicted to their product because they'll make more money in the long run. So we spoke about the negative and positive effects of addiction, but let's move on to overcoming an addiction. Now, the usual strategy of fighting addiction is just using willpower, self-determination, self-control, and determination, etc., etc., etc. However, this rarely works. And your neighborhood drug dealer knows that. So doesn't the maker of those Cool Ranch Doritos. So, an alternative route to take is rewarding yourself or replacing the addiction. Choose a healthy incentive. If you're having trouble through a week and you eventually get through that week, Reward yourself at the end on a Sunday. Treat yourself to a nice dinner. So where does this leave all of us? Addictions are more than just liking something and liking it more and more and more. There's a chemical basis behind it. Studies show different types, levels, and cons. No matter what the addiction, there are things that work and things that don't work when trying to overcome an addiction. So again, where does this leave us? Well, addictions are all around us. They vary in kind and intensity. People work with addictions all the time to help those overcome them. You'll have to excuse me for right now. I have to check my phone.